need to, if you're putting an event in the same thing every year, and if you're a delegate going to the same thing, you think, oh, every year that was the same, we did that, and everything, it's boring. You've got to mix it up because you've got to build that anticipation. So, oh, last year was great, what are we going to get this year? So it's creating that different side of things. Whoops. Through. Right, that's all right. Okay, so a way of livening things up with events and everything else is the right MC to connect with the group. So whether it needs to be very content driven or you want to lighten things up. We've got MCs out there that can do the 5-minute energize exercise and get people up and going and cheering and rubbing each other's backs and things, to, you know, very content, seriously driven work as such. To comedy is a really great way of having fun, but you always need to be mindful. Everyone has different sense of humour and different level of what's acceptable and what's not. I have a line which I call it the blue line, and my comedians know they do not go over that line because you're in a corporate environment and you have to be kept within that line. You're not at a pub, you're not where it's just a bit more free-for-all, so it is very important to keep within that. So those sort of little things you've always got to think about when you're booking entertainment and speakers and things like that as well. Entertainment, there's so many different types of entertainment you can add to your event to make it the wow factor, you know, to bring in that, the visually, the sound and everything else to, you know, so look at your venue, look at the spaces you've got to do, and there's everything, you know, you just think about it and it's, I'm sure it's out there to create all sorts of different things. Yeah, there's stacks of, there's endless. There's people who will dress up for anything, like seriously. Just talking about venues and what you can do. This one is at the Stockman's Bar and Grill at the Showgrounds, the Brisbane Showgrounds. The client was having a function in there. You know, it already lends itself to that country type feel. So you can utilise the venue to create your theme and just enhance it. So, and that's what's happened, you know, just dressing it up a little bit, putting the natives and things like that. So venues, they can be, look at the venue and just think what's unique about this venue and then work off that. It'll be cheaper and more cost effective than trying to create a whole different in a blank space. So utilise it. You know, if you buy a pool, put things in the pool if you're allowed to, obviously get permission. But, you know, there's so many different things you can do. So it's just thinking out of the mind square and think differently. This is just something a bit different. Chair covers to no chair covers, straight away it changes the look of the room. I actually did an event on Monday night at the Broncos Leagues Club, and it's a Leagues Club. It's a bit tight as a venue. It's got lovely, well, they were blue and green type chairs, not very attractive, but with some chair covers, sashes, white linen, and just something simple on the table, we turned it around for very little money. It was great. But you can just see the difference. You know which room you'd like to walk into. When you walk into a room, you think, this one looks like a lot more fun than the other one.
Sorry, what would you use a more plain room for?
Well, during the day, the conferencing, you generally don't tend to go to chair covers. Mm-hmm. So you keep it a bit more simple, especially if you're using the same room for your conference and then you want to turn it around for a dinner that night. To give people that they're in a different experience. Wow. Yeah, exactly. They've been in there all day, yeah. They've gone out and got changed and freshened up, and they come back and the room's different. So throwing on your chair covers, doing centerpieces, adding your lights or your room washers in your rooms.
It's like going through a costume change.
Yeah, exactly. So that just brings, yeah, because quite often you have to use that because it keeps your costs down. You're utilising the same venue for the dinner as you can for the conference. So doing things, and when you do that, you have to be mindful of your setup times. Setup is a big thing people forget, allowing times for setup and access into venues. You have these great ideas of what you can do, but you have to really think about logistics of how to get things into the rooms. So, you know, I had one down in Sydney. The guys, it was they were engineers, and it looked like something from Doctor Who, this great big long. I thought, how the heck are we going to get this in the, it's just not going to happen, you know. But they didn't check to see whether it would fit. Too big to fit in the lift, too heavy to bring up any other way. So logistics of bumping in and bumping out are really important for the suppliers, for your theming people, for your lighting people, as well as if you're having any exhibitions, making sure you've got space and what size lifts, and let that communication out there know, because that's just so important. Otherwise you get stuck. Theming, when you're doing an event too, if you can add a theme like a dress up, like, you know, Blaze, it was a Hawaiian night. It just costs nothing, but as soon as people put a hat on or do something, they feel like they relax. They get out of their own place and just relax and have fun. So, which is really, and adding colour to things, it's really effective. Doing different things. Oh, this is Nessie, our wonderful Willis actually made Nessie. She's beautiful. This was in a pool up at Noosa, and we had a cocktail around a pool. I've got so many beautiful photos of things that Willis has done over the years with me, but she's gorgeous. We've done her as a dragon as well for a Murder on the Orange Express thing.
Brilliant.
And it was red and black and everything else. But, you know, it's stunning. It's a talking point, and it's something that's different. We've done
more impact than lilies on the water.
Yeah. And just a few uplights, obviously she's lit. And it was amazing because with a bit of a breeze, her head would turn as if she's looking at people. It was really lovely. Same with table talk. You know, arrival drinks for a gala dinner. We've done this quite a few times in lots of places. City Hall was a good one as well. Beautiful lady dressed, the gown comes down over the table, the champagne around, and she just stands there, and people think that they're statues. And all of a sudden she'd move ever so slightly and go, oh, okay, she's real. We've had a fairy in a buffet, and she was gorgeous. Like, so lots of different, it just doesn't have to be straight food, you know, table champagne. So it's, what else can you do that we can work around? So always thinking out of the square, just creating different. Team building, I do quite a lot with clients that want to do team building within their offices as well as at conferences. So quite often we'll have a team building half day or day for conference groups. So there's a lot of different companies that supply a huge range of activities. It's really, really important to understand what the client, why you want to get together. Is there issues? Is there communications issues at work or whatever it is? Or are these people from all around the country and they don't know each other and you want them to get to know each other a little bit better? Or, you know, there's so many, there's from one aspect to the other. If you really want some learned outcomes from it, that the skills are not working together, we need to really get these guys focused together and working together. So there's so many different things that team building can do, down to just straight having fun. So a lot of people let's just get together, have some fun, laugh and enjoy each other. So if you understand it, you can then get the right people in to build what you need to create the outcomes for you. Getting the right trainers, and same thing, conference, we mentioned before about conferences. If you're going to do some team building, if it's going to need space, make sure you've got some space, otherwise you need to bust them off site, and that all adds on to costs. So just, you know, come back to when you're selecting those venues, what are you wanting to do? And if you're happy to bust off site, we can, but if you can keep them on site when there's some grassed area, saves costs. You don't have to bust them and you don't lose extra time. So which is good. So many different types of team building over the years. It keeps evolving. Gone the ropes courses and all of, you know, that was big many years ago. The latest one that's hit at the moment is the flat pack Formula One car. As teams, they're building this, and they race them. They race them to the military where someone gets kidnapped and they have to go and find them. To we've got racing simulators. We use these a lot for gala dinners, conferences, even in boardrooms in the financial sector in town. And we do a leaderboard like Top Gear. Everyone does their fast laps and puts its times up. So lots of different things. Jewellery making.
What's up in the top left hand?
Top left. Making rafts. So they make rafts and then they have to put someone in it as a team and paddle it and put it across
So
the...
what you're telling me is somebody gets
drowned.
sucked in and put into the thing and trust everyone else they build it right.
Absolutely. And they have minimum supplies of roping it
Oh,
together.
screw.
Or zip ties or things like that.
Just hope the person you choose.
Yes. It's normally the boss that gets thrown in because if it thinks it's him.
Good, yes.
So there's so many, like the artist one is amazing too. Everyone gets a piece of a canvas in each team and they get a part of a picture. But you have to communicate with the other teams to work out what colours go where and make sure your pictures will go together. So you're building one part each. So there is a huge amount of different things. There's one of jewellery trading, so you're earning money and trading money and buying gems and making jewellery, and then at the end of it, it's so there's huge amount. So just amount of how creative people want to be, down to sausage making, to coffee making, to you name it. The food cooking ones, there's everything. So you can spend a little or a lot. Segways, we do Segway Olympics. Running around teams on the Segway, standing up, running around, doing all of those sort of things as well. Come back to clients. So I guess with my work, I do such a wide range of things for clients, and they come to me looking for ideas and inspiration of last year was great, what can we do this year? And to get to that point of if you're building a business for yourself, you have to build up your client experiences. You have to build those relationships with your clients so they know and trust everything you bring through to them. So I only work with suppliers I know and trust because it's my name, my reputation that's up there. The client will come to me first. So it's really, really important to build the relationships with your suppliers, but as well as your clients. You know, without your clients, you don't have a business. And you want to be the person that they call. You want to be that first, hey Deb, I need, you're on the phone, they're on the email to you all the time. They need to, I've got a guy in Singapore that rings me for speakers. He says to me, Deb, are they on your A list? And if I say yes, he said, okay, I'll have that. With that sight unseen, but if they're not on my A list, he won't book them. He knows how particular I am about the speakers, so he knows and he trusts me, and I've worked with him for many, many years. He moves all around the world now with different companies, but he still calls me, emails me from wherever he's living and says, hey, need a speaker for this. And they're very senior level executives, but he knows I understand what he wants, and because I've worked with him for a lot of years, so that is really, really important. So creating your,
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how did you actually start off getting your client base together as well as, like, did you do Facebook or Redbox Drop, which mostly does work?
Yeah. Facebook wasn't around when I started, so I'm going back. But for me, it's about people connection. I would make a call, like you pick up the phone. Interesting, going way back into the car industry. I used to sell, when I first started out of the money, I used to sell cars to corporates. So they're fleet cars. So, you know, ANZ Bank would have 20 or whatever. So I would ring up corporates and cold call. I've known no one. And that's exactly the same as what I did with the events. I would pick up the phone and I would ring ANZ Bank. Can you tell me who looks after your event side of things, or your training side of your business, or whatever part it is you wanted? Or a lot of the big companies have their social club committees for their Christmas parties. So they all have different areas. HR is normally a good place to start, but the big thing to get through to the person you really need is really look after that person on that reception. Yeah. She's the gatekeeper, or he. That person on reception is the gatekeeper for you. So if you can be as nice and appreciative of whatever they can do for you, you've got more chance of getting through to the people you need to talk to. So that is such, it's a people business. As much as we create these events, it's the people. It's people. It's the connection you have with people.
What about face to face, you know, walking into a bank or something
Yeah.
and saying, you know?
Yeah, I would never rock up without an appointment. These people, I guess I'm very respectful.
Yeah.
Most people are really busy and getting time. So what I would do is make a call, or I ask people, who do you know? Or I ask my clients, do you know anyone else who could utilise my services? I send out a feedback sheet at the end of my events, you know, asking the questions, is there anything I could have done better? Because I know I'm not perfect, and I know I can always improve, but I ask my clients, okay, what did I do? Did I meet your expectations? Is there anything else I could do better? Is there anyone you know who could utilise my services? So I ask those questions, and that's where my referrals come through. And when they know how you work and how you operate, and you're professional and you look after it, if you say you're going to do something by a certain time, you do it. Whether you stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, it is done. So because that is so scarce these days, people really, really appreciate it. So, and yeah.
No, it's right.
Yeah, so it's building that rapport and the clients respect, and you know, they know that you are looking after their needs. And that's, yeah.
Sorry, I was going to ask you, when you first started out on your own and you started building up your suppliers
Yep.
and things like that, when it came to paying the account, did you get the clients paid direct to the supplier, or did you have to come up with
Yep.
cash yourself?
The way I structure my paperwork for the supplies side of things, I will get the invoices made out directly to the client. The client signs off on the supplier's terms and conditions, because every supplier has different terms and conditions, and they will pay them directly. So that's, yeah, that way you're not getting caught up collecting people's money. Clients are happy, it's going straight to the end user, so it can't get caught up and not get paid. And you know, we see with, you know, the building industry, and then something happens and they haven't got their money and all of that sort of thing. So the money always goes straight to the hotel or the supplier or the deposit, everything. So yeah, that's and that way it's clients happy, suppliers are happy, they're getting their money up to their terms and conditions as well. So, and it takes out a lot of risk off you. Yeah.
But sorry,
No.
what if you've got a client that gives you the money, the budget yourself?
Yep.
How would you deal with paying those bills?
Okay, I would never put that money into any of my bank accounts. I would tell the client, or suggest the client nicely.
No, they hand you the cash or something like that.
Yeah, no, well, I wouldn't take the cash from the
okay.
client at all. I would get them to open an account and say, look, I'll organise the invoices, we'll send them through. If they want, get 2 signatories, so whether if you sign one and they sign one, or whatever, or codes on the internet payment these days. But I would never take the money into my own
Personal.
business, into the own. One, you've got to start paying GST on that as well, because it's coming into your business as well. But 2, it keeps it really clear, and it's not in your control, so it's in their control.
So you don't handle any money?
Yeah, no.
Then you can't be held responsible for it.
Yeah, well, it's really important that it's really clear. Like, the more handling, the more things can get out of hand or something happen. You know, for the registrations and payment, it's all done online. It's all, people pay by their credit card. It goes straight through into clients. I get my clients banking their credit card details, like as such, the account, they go straight through. And it's all linked straight into it, so it doesn't come through to me. It just goes, when a client pays through my registration system, it goes straight into the client's bank account. So it doesn't come into me at all, and I think that is, it's just
That's what I was trying to
yeah,
ask.
yeah. So that goes straight into, yeah. So you get all the details off the bank, off the client for their bank account details, and that goes straight into there.
Okay, I've got another question.
Yep.
I have a lot, don't worry.
That's all right.
What I wanted to know, I'm actually a wedding planner by trade. What I actually want to know is, like, when you first started out, how many suppliers did you actually work with first of all before sort of advancing?
It's sort of developed. And when you start off, you just start sourcing the supplies you need when the client has a need as well. So when a client comes in, I need say an entertainment, a band or something. Well, I actually had, because I had my connection from my Speakers Bureau days,
Yeah.
I had a lot of connections in that side, but I had a company that I was very comfortable with and ethically, because to me the ethics is everything. Hence the money clear, it's really, really important. So I knew how they work, so it's just about finding someone, meeting them, having coffee with the suppliers, talking to them.